This is Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly, bringing you daily, unique, and interesting entertainment, celebrity, and luxury news. Before we get started, you know what to do. Like, follow, and subscribe to Red Carpet Fly, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single News on the Fly episode. Congrats to The Woman King. Variety reports that it's leading in the box office with $19 million in its debut. It's been receiving stellar reviews and positive word of mouth. The movie collected $19 million from 3,765 North American cinemas over the weekend, arriving at the higher end of expectations. Independent tracking services projected The Woman King would kick off with 15 to 18 million, while Sony estimated a debut closer to 12 million. Sony is lucky that the film has exceeded its ultra-conservative forecast. The Woman King cost $50 million to produce, not including the tens of thousands of marketing expenses, including a premiere at the Toronto Film Festival. The movie was co-financed by E1. Women accounted for 61% of the ticket buyers between Friday and Sunday. Broken down in demographics, 60% of moviegoers were Black, 19% were Caucasian, and 11% were Hispanic, and 10% were Asian. Given the strong reception from initial crowds, box office analysts believe The Woman King will enjoy a lucrative run on the big screen. And it also helps that there is no other movies in competition with this movie. So congratulations to Viola Davis, Lashana Lynch, John Boyega, and the whole cast. I haven't seen this movie yet, but it's definitely on my must-see list. Are you guys Kevin Gates fans? I heard a few of his songs and they're okay, but I really like listening to his interviews. Kevin Gates always gives good interviews, like the one he did recently on The Breakfast Club. Well, talking about Kevin Gates, did you guys hear about him simulating sex acts on stage again? Yes, honey. According to the Huffington Post, the rapper shocked fans yet again after getting overly sexual. The Thinking With My D rapper can be seen imitating a sex act on a microphone while explicitly detailing how he likes to sexually please a woman. In the footage, Gates also put his hands inside the front of his pants and pretends to pull his D out while describing a sex act as the crowd cheers. Suck your toes, D you down, please you, she says, bae, I'm nasty. I say, me too. Gates bellows out as concertgoers rap along with him. One Twitter user even admitted being afraid of the rapper's demonstrated bedroom movements. One Twitter user tweeted, I'm so effing scared of Kevin Gates. It's not even funny at this point. Another person tweeted, has Kevin Gates been like this since he first came out, or did something happen? Because it's concerning. Last month, the musician caught Twitter's attention after a video clip surfaced from one of his shows in Texas where he freestyled to his 2017 song D You Down and aggressively reenacted the lyrics in the song. The viral video racked up more than 100 million views. Gates has had several other jaw-dropping moments, including in July when he appeared on Revolt TV's Carisha Please and opened up about discovering that he was sleeping with his cousin, a story he previously addressed on Instagram. Duh! The F? Gates responded when the show's host, Young Miami, asked him about it. I got a question for you. If me and you meet and I put it on you the right way, stigmatized, he said before explaining how he found out the woman was a relative. I introduce you to my grandma and then she's like, baby, who your people is? She pulled me to the side and say, baby, that's your cousin. I ain't about to stop. The damage has been done, he responded. I didn't know my whole life. I just found this out. We've already been thugging and we still good friends to this day. Okay, so there's a lot going on here, right? So I actually heard about him having sex with his cousin, and he talks about this. I think they even asked him on one of the interviews on The Breakfast Club about this same issue, and he does go into details talking about that he did not know that this woman was his cousin. So it's not like he's just sleeping with his cousin. I mean, he is, but he didn't know. So there you go. And he, you know, now that he knows, I guess, like, you know, like he said, the damage been done, so he kept on doing it. For me, it would be a no-go, but, you know, that's me. And also, have you guys seen his performances? They can be really, really aggressive sometimes. Do y'all like that? Like, let's be honest. People always talk about how freaky they are, so, you know, isn't this just Kevin showing off his little freaky side, showing you what he's working with? To me, if his audiences like it, and I'm talking about his paid audience, I don't see a problem with it. It's a bit much for me, but artists do this type of stuff in concerts all the time. So what do you guys think about this? Comment below and let me know. Do you guys remember the Spice Girls? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna do it. I don't know all the words, but Mel C, aka Sporty Spice, was sexually assaulted the night before the first Spice Girls performance. In an interview on the How to Fail podcast, the Spice Girl alleged that she was sexually assaulted by a massage therapist at a hotel spa in Istanbul, Turkey. In an interview on Elizabeth Day's How to Fail podcast, ahead of the September 15th release of her forthcoming memoir, Who I Am, the Spice Girl shared that she was sexually assaulted by a massage therapist in a spa in an Istanbul, Turkey hotel in 1997. Chisholm was staying at the hotel the night before the girl group was about to have their first live performance. We were in Istanbul. We did 2 shows over there and we'd never done a full-length concert before. So obviously we'd rehearsed for weeks ahead, costume fittings, makeup, hair, everything was leading towards the pinnacle of everything I ever wanted to do and I wanted to be, Chisholm recalled. What drives me is being on stage, being a performer. So here we were, the eve of our first ever Spice Girls show, so I treated myself to a massage in a hotel. She continued, and what happened to me? I kind of buried immediately because there were so many other things to focus on. I didn't want to make a fuss, but I also didn't have time to deal with it. She added that because she didn't deal with it at that time, she has since realized that allowed for that night to be buried for years and years and years. She said that she didn't think about the incident until writing about it for her memoir. It came to me in a dream, or I kind of woke up and it was in my mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about having that in my book. And then of course I had to think, well, do I want to reveal this? And I just thought, actually, I think it's really important for me to say it and finally deal with it and process it. Terrible things happen all the time, and this situation wasn't as bad as it could have been, she said. Though she didn't share further details of the assault, she described her experience as a mild version of sexual assault. I felt violated. I felt very vulnerable. I felt embarrassed. And then I felt unsure. Have I got this right? What's going on? I was in an environment where you take your clothes off with a professional person. Chisholm went on to say that there were so many thoughts and feelings about that moment in her life, but she ultimately wanted to share and talk about it because of the impact it had on her. It has affected me, but I buried it, and I'm sure lots of people do. I think a lot of sexual assault happens in the haze of ambiguity, right? That's how predators get away with the awful stuff that they do, because you're not sure exactly what just happened, but you do know it made you feel a certain way and it's not good. People bank on this confused state you're in and unfortunately perpetrate the act over and over and over again on unsuspecting victims. And I'm purposely not mentioning gender here because the same tactics are done on both men and women to violate them. I'm glad she's sharing her story because although we hear about the really horrific sexual assault crimes, these are equally important because I think these happen much more often because these type of assaults can get passed off as, I was just doing my job. The victim is just too sensitive. I guess the saying is true. Writing is cathartic because these memoirs bring up a lot of trauma. Like my mom says, no one leaves this earth unscathed. Everyone has a story. If you're interested in buying her book, Who I Am, you can purchase it on Amazon.com. Congrats to Nick Cannon for the newest addition to his family, Onyx Ice Cole Cannon. Mom, model, and photographer Lanisha Cole and Nick Cannon shared the news via Instagram last week. While a baby is a blessing, I think we can all agree that Nick Cannon's baby situation is a little unconventional, to say the least. But in a recent Page 6 article, expectant Abby De La Rose, another one of Nick Cannon's baby mamas, defends her polyamorous relationship with Nick Cannon. In the article, she states, being in a polyamorous relationship doesn't mean you have low self-esteem or self-worth. The DJ 31 told host Sean Boardroom on Tuesday's episode of Lovers and Friends podcast. I become hypersensitive when people attack me and my motherhood. De La Rosa, who shares 1-year-old twins Zion and Zillan with the Wallin' Out host, 41, is pregnant with her 3rd child, and she says she hasn't even scratched the surface when it comes to being a mom. Me being open in my relationship doesn't change or take away from the type of mother that I am to my kids and the wholeness that I am to them and the strength that I share with them, she continued. The DJ said she hopes her children will grow up to understand they can also do things their own way, even if it doesn't make sense to the people around them. To do it their way, not the way that the world wants them to do it, To do it their way, Mom and Dad did, she added. Despite Cannon being her primary partner, she revealed that she sees herself being in a committed relationship in the future. I think I see monogamy for myself down the line, and this won't get me there. But I love where I'm at and at this very moment. It's just not my forever. Back in June, De La Rosa announced that she was pregnant with baby number 3, but didn't clarify who the father was at the time. However, Cannon later seemingly confirmed that he was the father while appearing on a lip service podcast that same month, telling host Angela Yee that the stork was on the way. In order to make room for the growing brood, the TV personality bought the DJ a new house earlier this month. After De La Rosa described her relationship with Cannon as an open one, it might explain his consistently growing family with multiple women. Cannon is currently also expecting a baby boy with Brittany Bell, whom he already shares 2 children with. The couple announced the news in August, shortly after De La Rosa revealed hers. So, I don't mean this to be derogatory, but is Nick Cannon just a glorified sperm donor with benefits? I mean, I'm really asking, because if so, I can understand where these girls are coming from. Like, listen to me, okay? Like, follow me here. They want kids, and for whatever reason, they might not have any viable options available to them at the time. Nick Cannon comes, he helps them out. Plus, he gives them perks like buying them necessities like a house, a car, and providing a secondary income to the household. And all he wants in return is, of course, the initial sex. But, to hang out with his kids and take them out every once in a while, it doesn't sound like that crazy of a situation when you think about it. It's not an ideal situation for everyone, but I don't think I would say no if a wealthy celebrity wanted to knock me up and kick in a monthly stipend, and I'm basically still able to run my household and raise my children the way I want to. I don't know, y'all. I mean, I've really been looking at this situation from so many angles, and this is the only one that really makes sense to me. What do you guys think about this? Would you be down for this type of arrangement? Comment below. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. If you'd like to receive text notifications of when I post News on the Fly episodes or my celebrity red carpet interviews, please send a text to 917-502-4379 and say, I want to get Fly Tech. Once subscribed, you will start receiving text messages regarding a News on the Fly episode or celebrity interview. Also, if you have a business, product, service, YouTube channel, or social media account that you would like for me to promote on my channel, please email redcarpetfly@alexi@redcarpetfly.com to get rates for advertising. We're growing, guys. You can also find this podcast on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeart Radio podcast platforms. Just search for News on the Fly podcast. Lastly, please like, follow, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, Red Carpet Fly, and also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Red Carpet Fly. And until tomorrow, always stay fly.